What's going on, everyone? We are back talking more wrestling stuff from a I'd say very active Friday. Now, Saturday and Sunday were kind of quiet, but if you were watching Friday's episode of WWE SmackDown, you saw in that season premiere that they made it out to be a pretty big deal because you saw the return of Roman Reigns, who's been gone since the aftermath of SummerSlam back in early August, so his presence was welcome. So was the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. That was also welcome back. And he made his presence felt in a pretty big way pretty quickly. From that first segment with John Cena to everything else that happened in the show, which we're going to break down in a second, it was really a lot of fun. So he was all over the place, whether it was the interaction with LA Knight, whether it was the main event of the show where he got involved again with LA Knight. But the part that really stood out to me the most was that face-to-face with Cody Rhodes. Really their first big interaction since all the way back to the aftermath of WrestleMania earlier this year. Because Roman Reigns, of course, defeated Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 39 to retain his titles. And it led to them, I think, having a little brief interaction the next day. And then it kind of fizzled out from there because Cody went on to feud with Brock Lesnar. And Roman kind of disappeared for a little bit, came back, and then disappeared again, as he's been doing with his part-time contract. But you saw in that interaction between Cody and Roman that there was something there to do this again. And they wouldn't have those two lock eyes like that with the camera focused in for no reason. And of course, with the new GM, Nick Aldis, coming in to divide them, saying, not tonight, not tonight. Come on, they're trying to build some tension, trying to build something there to get us to Roman versus Cody again. Because that, even though what The Rock might have said on the Pat McAfee show earlier this fall about, maybe coming back for WrestleMania 40 if everything aligns, I think the real money is for Cody and Roman to do this again. Getting that rematch, getting that moment for Cody to complete his story. Because if he hasn't completed his story there in the rematch, then I don't know what we're doing here. Then, which more so in like who's going to defeat Roman. Then it kind of gets to that point. At the same time, too, The Rock and Roman Reigns don't need to main event, let's say, night 2 of WrestleMania either. So they've been pushing along this story with Cody and Roman now, with the bloodline splintering over the past couple months, with Cody bringing Jey Uso over to Raw. These things kind of make sense. They're kind of working hand in hand. Cody and Roman may not have interacted throughout all this until Friday night, but they're starting to, because we're getting closer to Royal Rumble season, because Royal Rumble's only 3 months away already, so we gotta start planting some seeds, because by the time early January comes around, it's gonna take off, and it's not far away. I mean, we have, 10 weeks left in 2023, and the second that first week of January hits, we are on the collision course to Philadelphia for WrestleMania 40. We are on our way there. And Friday night was definitely the first sign of it. I mean, it got great traction on social media. Fans were invested in it. Even though it wasn't everyone screaming for it, everyone has their phones up. Everyone has whatever device they have up to try to record what's going on, because it's a big deal. It's a big deal, Cody and Roman. And now they have a couple months, if it's the plan, to build it up, make it feel as special as it did last year without the Royal Rumble, because I don't think you need the Royal Rumble for this. I think the Royal Rumble can be used to determine the World Heavyweight Champion opponent at WrestleMania. We're on our way there to something pretty fun. I think. This would be what I would do. So I think this has the chance to be a really good thing that we're going to slowly get the more breadcrumbs for over the next couple months, even if Cody and Roman aren't going to quote-unquote rival head-to-head. But at least you're going to get Cody interactions with the Bloodline still, maybe, especially with the tag titles now, because I think that's part of the reason why the tag titles were put on him, so he can get over to SmackDown, since the titles can bounce from brand to brand, and he can have these kind of interactions that could set things up. So I think it's really smart stuff they're doing right now, and it's no coincidence with the man who is in charge of that right now, according to the recent reports that Ari Emanuel, the CEO of Endeavor, has given creative control to Triple H. Now, I think that's a great thing, because Triple H, I mean, you've seen the reports from, let's say, Fightful Select, Wrestling Observer, or PW Insider, whoever has been reporting it along the way, has been saying that Triple H is the one in charge of creative now, and Vince McMahon, through this whole business transaction being finalized, is kind of being pushed off to the side for now. That's what it kind of seems like. Now, who knows, maybe he'll come back in at some point. I know, not hoping that happens right now, because Triple H, I mean, you've seen with the backstage reactions to this, and then because of the wrestlers like it, and then just the product's just been better since we've heard that Triple H has been in charge. It just makes more sense. Things make more sense. Things align better. There's more storytelling being done, and then just there's just logical creative stuff going on right now that's making these shows enjoyable. It's making these premium live events even better. And yeah, so far things are trending up. I hope it continues trending up. And now there's always going to be bumps along the road where people say, like, "Oh, what's he doing? What's he doing?" Because it's always gonna happen. No one's gonna fully agree on anything. And there's gonna be some weeks where Raw and SmackDown feel off. And sure, that's happened while Triple H has been in charge. For the long term, and even the short term, I think it's a good thing. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how he does in the final months before WrestleMania, because earlier this year, Vince McMahon came back, and that was in early January, and Triple H was taking over for the final months of 2022. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Triple H really handles things and builds up to a WrestleMania with him and the creative team, but with him in charge for the first time. So to me, that's maybe the biggest plot point here as we get up to the end of 2023 and we make our way into January 2024. Now, another fun little thing was Nick Aldis debuting on WWE programming. Now, he went from being a producer backstage to very quickly being the on-screen SmackDown GM, as Adam Pearce got made the Raw GM. So Aldis as a SmackDown GM, I'm for it. I'd be surprised if he doesn't get into a ring at some point with WWE. He's 36 years old. He's got a long way to go if he wants to in his wrestling career. But so far, so good with what I saw with the interactions where he showed off a comedic side, where he put down Dominic Mysterio. He got in a good way of making things for matches and setting things up, and those backstage interactions he had, I thought they were pretty positive and pretty good. Aldis he has a presence to him. He stands out. He can look like somewhat of a menacing figure if he wants to. I think it's off to a good start. I'm looking forward to seeing what else he does next. And now the other thing that it looks like we're getting a lot more build now to Crown Jewel, which is coming up in about 3 weeks. So Crown Jewel looks like it's going to feature at least Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship, but getting back to LA Knight from before, it looks like we're going to have LA Knight and Roman Reigns. Perhaps maybe they try pushing it to Survivor Series, but with this event so close, I could see they're working there pretty quickly, especially with the interactions from the beginning of the show into the end of the show, how they bookended each other. And I think we're going to get probably more of that pretty quickly. I don't think we're going to get like a tag team match like we did earlier this year with the Usos to lead up to Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns. LA Knight, he's not going to win the title from Reigns. I don't think there's a chance in hell of that happening. But this is his moment to shine. This is the ultimate moment to shine. He already was with John Cena, and that worked out fine, worked out very well. But now, headlining a pay-per-view, and especially the Crown Jewel, is taken pretty seriously. If he maximizes that and has a great match, and he continues being great on the mic against Reigns, then it's looking pretty good for him going into WrestleMania season. Now, at the same time, too, I think the most important thing is going to be how he's booked after this Reigns match. How they handle him. Will the steam wear off him a little bit? Because once he loses that big match and people see, oh, he's not going to win the title, it's going to be like, okay, sure, but the man can stay over like the way he's been doing from rising from being involved with the Maximum Male Models now to teaming with John Cena, interacting with Roman Reigns, and now looking like he's going to get a pay-per-view match with Reigns for that undisputed WWE Universal title that's been held for over 1,000 days. I think it's looking good for him right now, but it's going to be a matter of what they do after the fact, because he's in that peak mode right now. But are we at the top here yet? We'll have to find it out. So that will do it here. Thanks for following along. You can subscribe below, check out all the appropriate links, and we'll be back soon.